Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Brent Nolte. I teach at Talladega College, where I serve as the music department chair. I teach courses in music theory and serve as a college organist. So I wish to thank Nathan Edwards here at the church for all of his help over the last couple of months, coordinating things and getting me into practice and setting things up. And thanks to everyone who's doing sound and light and videotaping and live streaming and all of that. Much appreciated. You have a beautiful sanctuary here. Also, my thanks to Dr. Matt Letter, who those of you in Gadsden are very familiar with. He teaches at Gadsden State and is a very active trumpet player. He's so busy, in fact, that when he's done playing his last song tonight, he needs to leave and go play somewhere else. So, it's been fun working with Matt and getting to know him a little bit. So, I'll give you a little bit of verbal program notes about the program. Some of the pieces are for trumpet and organ, but also this instrument has something called a festival trumpet, which is a trumpet stop that is set on higher wind pressure, and so I'm going to make use of that a couple of times as well. So the Processional by William Mathias will make use of that festival trumpet stop, and then we'll get to hear Matt on the Fanfare. A couple of the things on the program tonight come from the French Symphonic School of Organ Playing. So the Dubois Toccata starts out very fast, then it has a middle section that's slower and quieter, and then what Dubois does kind of at the end is he kind of puts both of those themes together and finishes out with the fast part. The Dupre Prelude in Fuge in G minor does a similar thing. The Prelude has very fast notes in the manuals and then a long melody that's played in the pedal and then later in the right hand. At the end of the Fugue, Dupre brings that in long notes in the upper notes of the manual, so he sort of provides some nice unity there between the Prelude and the Fugue. The Prayer of St. Gregory by Hovhaness will feature Matt on the trumpet again. This is a very slow, expressive piece, maybe a little something different than you might expect from a trumpet, and gives Matt a chance to show his beautiful tone, dynamics, and expressiveness. David Briggs is a well-known, or kind of world-famous concert organist. In fact, he just did a recital in Tuscaloosa for a dedication of an organ this spring. And the pieces that he wrote are also sort of in the French symphonic tradition. And what he's done is he's utilized different intervals for each of the movements. So the first movement, you'll hear a lot of octaves in the pedal. The second movement, we have chords alternating one, so right hand to left hand. And what's kind of tricky about that for the organist is that the chords change keys a lot, and so it was kind of a challenge to learn that, but it's a neat effect. And in that second movement, you'll hear a beautiful melody played by the pedal. The third movement is for double pedal, so that means I have to play two notes in the pedal at once, but it has, again, the melody in the pedal, and then at the end of the movement also has some scales in the pedal, so kind of a workout for the feet. And then the last movement, Tierces, that's intervals of thirds, and there's a lot of chromatic scale in that. The Briggs might be the most challenging to listen to. The harmonies are a little more challenging, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's interesting music. So, Matt will do some improvisation for us on Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And then the final pieces are by a gentleman I know somewhat well. His name is Charles Orr. He is Professor Emeritus at Concordia in Seward, Nebraska, and I did my master's degree project on Charles Orr and his music. The processions from 8 both use that festival trumpet stop. The excursion uses a crumhorn stop, and in that piece you'll hear a little bit of Charles Orr's humor. He's got a very good sense of humor, and he kind of utilizes that musically in the excursion. And then finally, the last setting of What a Friend We Have in Jesus, also you'll kind of sense Charles Orr's sense of humor and his lightheartedness. It's kind of a swing, jazzy version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And one more thing to listen for that I forgot to mention, in the Royal Fanfare, which Matt will play with me, in the slow section in the middle, you will hear bits of what I think is a familiar hymn to you, Abide With Me. Just the first phrase or so of that melody comes in very long notes. So, again, I thank you very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed my time with this instrument and here at First Baptist, and enjoy the show.